Bucharest, February 15th, 1965. Napoleon Bonaparte. Predominantly matte white, gray points around the neck, yellow belt at the waist, red points above the knees, 6 sphere. We called upon Napoleon Bonaparte, this illustrious statesman, celebrated military commander, unmatched warrior, a man who sought to create a new world, an empire of philosophy and the arts, a man of lofty ideals, a great organizer and brilliant leader. Even before he arrived, the atmosphere became noticeably livelier and more energetic. He appeared dressed as a noble military officer, wearing close-fitting garments and a cloak over his left shoulder. He seemed cheerful, spirited, and in excellent humor. His mood affected us as well, and we greeted him with great ceremony. Napoleon, in the name of the one through whom you have called me among you, may you also be blessed. And I say, I am pleased to have found you. I believe you know me well enough from history, of all that I accomplished during my earthly life, because I had little time for myself and much for others. What was considered here were the efforts I made and the purposes for which I made them. My merits were examined, and I was placed where I belonged. Ever since I saw my merits clearly, I have never ceased regretting that I did not do more. I came to earth and rose in prominence. As you know, I arrived carrying a particular force that I had possessed before descending to earth for a second time. My first earthly journey was in Egypt. I was a warrior among the pharaohs, and departed early on the edge of a sword, carrying with me an unfulfilled longing for battle. That same longing brought me back. I fulfilled much of that desire. What I regret is not my struggle, but that I did not cultivate a deeper love for humanity. Now I spend my time in contemplation among great thinkers. I constantly ask myself how I might obtain another earthly journey, for the desire still burns within me to build a new world, a universal empire in which order, thought, wisdom, and above all the arts would reign. George, and why do you not return to earth? Napoleon, we who live in the higher spheres are bound by very strict placement laws. We may travel where we wish, even to earth itself, but to incarnate again and take on a physical body requires special approval from the great throne of light. George, and have you sought such approval? No, I was told that the divine plan for creating a new world employs methods different from mine. They said my methods would not achieve the desired results, so I wait. But I continue to burn inwardly. How I would like to use modern weaponry to destroy empires built on tyranny and cruelty, those who use money to purchase minds, arms, and consciences. Yet I wait for an order from the great emperor who governs every movement on every planet and throughout all worlds. He sees my longing, he knows my restlessness, and surely one day he will release me. George, we would like to see your spiritual colors. Napoleon, I have no objection. I still remember presenting myself before the great divine commander. Veronica, his garments have fallen away. He is matte white. Around the neck are gray points. At the waist is a semi-light yellow belt, and above the knees there are bright red points. George, no blue? I knew he had a reputation as a ladies' man. Veronica, no. Napoleon, I have no blue because I never mistreated any woman. It is true that I liked women, but I respected them and never abused the authority I possessed. George, then what do the red points above the knees represent? Napoleon, smiling as he looks at them. They are the inheritance of my battles. I was bound to have them. How could an emperor who carried wars across seas and nations avoid staining his garments with innocent blood? When rain falls, it waters not only the wheat, but also the thorns. When drought comes, it dries not only weeds, but fruitful plants as well. I carry these marks, but I am not ashamed of them. They bear witness to my courage. I did not kill out of passion, nor did I take life for personal gain. I loved battle because I wished to establish a kingdom of justice and fairness, a glorious kingdom. But I was not driven by pride. I wished to give opportunity to people of merit. I wished to create conditions in which philosophers and artists could flourish, not out of vanity, but out of respect for beauty. You see, I do not wear yellow. I was not arrogant because of my victories. That is why you found me cheerful and content. George, some people misunderstood you. They accused you of a desire to dominate. Napoleon? No, I wanted people to love one another. I wanted borders to disappear. I wanted truly capable individuals to rise and fully express their gifts without fear or restraint. I desired, as Scripture says, one flock and one shepherd. I wanted everyone to pasture freely, unthreatened by anyone. Perhaps that dream would never have succeeded, and so the sun of my life set too early, and darkness descended upon my aspirations. George, we would like to see your spiritual colors before your French incarnation. Veronica, still matte white, still gray points around the neck, but without the red points above the knees. The belt is very pale yellow. George, who are your closest companions where you dwell? Napoleon, because I am cheerful and have always loved music, I surround myself mostly with musicians. They come carrying instruments of their own design. Small orchestras gather. When they begin to play, not hundreds but thousands assemble around them. George, are there instruments there? Napoleon, everyone continues the type of work that they loved on earth. Musicians create music. Sculptors fashion forms. Physicists gather among themselves and spend months discussing their studies. There are mathematicians as well. They draw symbols and discuss matters that no one else understands. George, are there poets who compose poetry? Napoleon, yes. There is an Indian poet in my sphere named Rama Kindal. He delights us with his verses. George, does he compose rhymed poetry or free verse? Napoleon, both. George, and what does he write on? Napoleon, he writes on nothing. He remembers everything. He has a poem about a goddess named Zephyria, the goddess of petals and fragrance. He composed a cycle of 9 odes dedicated to her, of unimaginable beauty. George, surrounded by so many artists, I imagine you are not entirely in your natural element there. You, the warrior. Napoleon, no, I did not fight for the sake of fighting. I fought to secure a lasting peace, one that would no longer be threatened by any external power. George, I understood that long ago, but let me return to your passion for music. You say that the musicians have instruments. Who makes these instruments there? Napoleon, they make them themselves. In fact, I shall bring Beethoven to you, and he will play for you on his favorite instrument. George, of course, I replied enthusiastically. We invite both of you this evening after supper. But I still have one more question. Napoleon, you have other duties now. I shall leave you. George, not at all. I looked toward Veronica, and indeed she seemed impatient. I remembered that she wished to attend church. George, my distinguished wife insists on going to church. She believes that if she misses the service, the great shepherd will exclude her from his flock. Napoleon, each person has his own faith and passion. I rarely went to church, but I could never find peace unless I was leading soldiers into battle. George, then we shall meet again after supper. Veronica, he has left.